Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a fantastic guide for making our conversations, well, not just more effective, but a lot more humane. It's all built around this really cool idea that our source material calls the quiet math.
So let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we all know. That sinking feeling in your stomach right after you've sent an email that you instantly regret. Or, when a conversation just completely goes off the rails. We've all been there, right? Just wishing for a big ol' rewind button for our words.
I absolutely love this quote from our source. It just gets at this idea so perfectly, that communication is so much more than just the words we're typing or saying. It's the energy, the unspoken stuff, our posture, the little pauses. It's the feeling we leave people with.
Now, here's what's so fascinating about this approach. The core idea isn't that we need to talk more, or send more emails, or have more meetings to be a good communicator. No, it's about aiming better. It's about choosing our shots. It's precision over just sheer volume. And that brings us right to the heart of this whole thing, the quiet math. I want you to think of it like a toolkit, a framework that helps you choose the right way to communicate every single time. Because as our source puts it so well, clarity really is kindness.
Okay, so let's pop open this toolkit. At its core, you've really only got three main channels to work with: the vocal, the physical, and the digital. And each one has its own unique superpowers. And, its own kryptonite.
First up, we've got the vocal channel. So this is your phone call, your in-person chat. Its superpower is just incredible speed and nuance. You can hear that tiny change in someone's tone, you can sense when they hesitate, and you can fix a misunderstanding right there in the moment. The risk, though? It's a big one. Raw emotion can just completely flood the conversation and wash away all logic, both for you and for them. Next up, the physical channel. This is everything that's not your words. It's your posture, your eye contact, even the way you're breathing. When your body language lines up with what you're saying, man, it builds a ton of credibility. But, and this is a huge but, it's also where misinterpretations can just run wild, especially when you're dealing with different cultures or even just different personality types.
And finally, we have the digital channel, our world, right? Text messages, emails, Slack. Its greatest strength is that it gives us time to think, to compose our thoughts, and it creates a searchable record. But its fatal flaw? A complete and total lack of tone. And that vacuum invites the other person to just project all of their own anxieties and assumptions right onto your words. So, okay, knowing the tools is one thing, but knowing when to use each one, that's the real art form here. And that brings us to this idea of the high-stakes ladder. It's all about choosing your channel with intention, especially when the pressure is on.
This is such a brilliant way to visualize it, this communication ladder. You start on the bottom rung with the digital channel, right? Text or email for pure precision and facts. If things start to get a little emotional or complicated, you climb up a step to a vocal channel. You pick up the phone to add some real empathy. And for the heaviest, most sensitive topics where you need trust and that physical presence, you escalate all the way to the top, in person. So, if you only remember one thing, let it be this simple but incredibly powerful rule. Is a text thread getting heated and weird? Escalate. Get on the phone to add some human empathy back into the mix. Is an in-person meeting getting way too emotional and going in circles? De-escalate. Offer to follow up in an email to bring back some precision and give everyone a little breathing room.
Okay, so how do we actually apply all of this when things get tough? That's where this playbook for navigating difficult conversations comes in. Because, let's be real, that's when we need a clear plan more than ever. So here it is, a super actionable 5-step playbook right from the source material. It starts with just checking in, that's priming the nervous systems. A simple, hey, is now a good time, can make all the difference. Then you share your story, your interpretation of what happened, not a final judgment. You own your part of the mess. You actually work together to figure out what's next, and then you write it down. It sounds simple, but wow, it's not easy.
And to make it even more concrete, here are some literal phrases you can just borrow. Asking someone, do you want comfort, collaboration, or a decision? That is a total game changer. And ending a really tough talk by asking, what did I miss? That is just such an incredible act of humility. It can completely reset the feeling in a room.
But of course we all mess up. We're human. So the final and, maybe the most important part of this whole playbook is knowing how to effectively repair the damage after you've made a mistake.
A real apology, a good one, has 4 key parts. First, you acknowledge what you did, and you do it fast and clear.
Then, you describe the impact your actions had on the other person to show them you actually get it. Third, you name the specific thing you're going to change going forward. And finally, you check in. You ask if they're ready to move on. That's how you actually rebuild trust.
And now for what not to do. And the source is crystal clear here. The second you add the word "but" to an apology, you have just completely erased its value. "I'm sorry, but you were being difficult" is not an apology. It's just an accusation wearing a polite little mask.
So in the end, this isn't about being some kind of perfect communicator. It's just a practice. It's about remembering that every single conversation, every email, every little interaction, you're building a bridge. And I think the question this whole explainer leaves us with is, are you building a bridge you'd actually be willing to walk across yourself tomorrow?